Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a great day, and above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Ladies and gentlemen, the gang are back with another episode of Going for the One. We are with this series, airing all through September, are looking at our favorite debut albums, and Ken is up next with his next selection. Take it away, Ken.
Thank you, boss.
You're
I'm
very
taking
welcome.
us into 1980, October 20th in particular. And this is the debut album by four Irish lads called U2. And the album is entitled Boy. So let's all say, oh boy. Um,
Oh boy.
oh
Oh
boy.
boy.
Oh boy. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not going to say a whole lot about this because I doubt there's anybody that doesn't know who you two are. Um, and it's and these days you two tends to be one of those albums whether you either love them or hate them. There's not very many people in between, I don't think. Um, but for those of you who discovered you two from Achtung Baby on, this is not the same. This is your dad's U2 here. This is not
Ooh.
yours. Album was produced, or they originally had produced a three-song EP, did quite well, and then signed to Island Records, uh, produced by now legendary and fairly legendary back then, Steve Lillywhite. Um, I tell you what, I've discovered over the years that many of my favorite albums were produced by this guy. And one of the few people in the rock industry I'd actually like to meet and have a beverage with. So, anyway, this U2 and in this album has a very raw, energetic sound that I just really love. And this is, and I saw them in 83, and this is exactly what they sounded like. So, this is a good example of a studio session or recording that actually represents what they sound like live very well. And I really appreciate that personally. Um, they were very young at this time. This is before they started getting real political, even though because of growing up in Ireland and all of the strife that they suffered growing up. The songs are rather youthful. Um, these songs have themes that focus on youth, innocence, alienation, personal growth, all of these things that young artists usually focus on, at least initially. Trying to find your place in the world. Um, who are you? What's going on around? The world you're growing up in. Kind of a rite of passage album as far as themes. All the standard U2 elements are there. Edge on guitar, fantastic rhythm section. Actually, as far as Edge's guitar work, there's not quite so much work with pedals and effects. This is more of a straightforward electric guitar, going at it. I know a lot of people poo-poo Edge on his guitar work using, echo and effects and stuff like that. But I tell you what, as a guitar player, it's really hard to do that well. And he does it very well. So whether he's using those or not, I think he's a fantastic guitar player, but I digress. The sounds on this album, as I mentioned, a raw, energetic sound, were influenced by other bands in various ways. Joy Division, The Clash, even the Talking Heads. Um, and they were really immersed and a lot of the other bands at the time. Um, this is one more album on my list that is listed on many of the lists
Okay, go
for
ahead.
greatest albums of all time.
Mhm.
Um, and I agree. The first three albums in particular of U2 are my absolute favorite, and I never tire listening to Boy. I just love this album. It's got some another album that if I listed all the best songs on it, I'd be listing the whole lineup. But really, I Will Follow, Out of Control, Into the Heart, Stories for Boys. These are all just absolutely, amazing. Um, and like I said, it's got that energy, and it's which is what I really associate with rock and roll, more than just rage. It's energy, whatever the theme is. This is just really on fire, pun intended. So, like I
I
said, if
got
you're
it.
really familiar with U2, after Achtung Baby, give it a shot.
Yeah, this
And
is nothing
an open.
like, yeah. Yeah, it's a very raw sounding album, very, I would say, honest sounding album in
Yes.
terms of the emotions that they spilled in the songs. So,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, this was. I'm sure Bono had a certain amount of ego at that time. I mean, I think most good performers have to have that, um, because it's your most of what your life is self promotion in order to be successful in entertainment. But it just seems more honest and sincere at this point in his career. So,
And let's be honest. I mean, any band that's been, and we've talked about this before ad nauseum, any band that's been around for 5, 10 years, if you're lucky, you have to change your sound in order to make it interesting for you, the artist, first and foremost.
that's true.
Because if you're going to do an album, every album like Boy or like, like Nursery Crime from Genesis, if every album is the same, what is the point?
Yeah,
What is the point? There's no
Yeah.
growth. There's no evolution, you know?
yeah.
Um, that's my 4 cents. I'm done.
Well, no, you're right because we've talked about recently albums that it's just too much of the same thing.
Hmm.
And sometimes that works, but oftentimes it doesn't. So whether it's on all on the same album or within a particular album run, um, I don't think there's any of us here that have a band where you, at least with a long career, that has a catalog that you like everything in the catalog,
Yeah,
because
Right.
your tastes don't necessarily run parallel to the artist you like.
yeah. And I've said before, it's very unrealistic for, um, on two fronts, it's very unrealistic for a fan to expect their favorite band to stay the same through every single release.
Sure.
And on the flip side of that coin, it's very unrealistic for an artist to expect their fan base to stay with them through every single album. If you're lucky, they do. They do. But
Unless
if
you're a Swiftie, maybe. But
you
Armando,
had to,
we know how much you love her, so
you had to go
there
there.
you go. There you go.
I'll make up no substance. Okay. You won't even. Okay.
Drink
Okay.
no
I,
substance.
I did go there. So, but yeah, no, I hear what you're saying with the album with Boy. I think it's, yeah. I mean, this album has been praised over the years for its directness and its rawness. I mean, so
But
anyone
you're right.
else?
There's an honesty about this album, that's authenticity, that's
Yeah.
hard to find.
Anyone else have comments? Sagosh?
Yeah, I do enjoy this album a lot. In fact,
I mean, not to say it is in any way better than the Joshua Tree, but really
Mhm.
there is the amount of saturation that I've gone through, and I think everybody has gone through that album. So I
Sure.
find myself back to this one a lot more. And it's really got, as Ken said, a lot of very memorable tracks. And there's this, sort of atmosphere to it, which hasn't yet obviously gone to the, arena levels of late 80s U2. And it's still a small band doing big things. I mean,
Yes.
and that's very
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well said.
yeah, no, it's true. It's true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another one for the books, for going for the one, discussing U2's Boy. Thank you, Ken, for that. Please, again, ladies and gentlemen out there, please put down your comments below about this album, or any albums that you deem your favorite debut releases. And again, we would love to get a dialogue going about these albums, and I'm sure we will with the selection we've had so
It'd be great.
far,
Yeah.
which we want. So for Ken, Jim, and Sagosh, I'm Armando signing off for now. Again, please click like and subscribe, and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we got coming up. We are pretty much in the thick of this series right now, ladies and gentlemen, and it's only going to get better. All right? Please stay tuned, and we'll see you soon with another episode of Going for the One. Bye for now.